Live on a Thursday morning in beautiful Northeast Ohio. And special guest today and every other week here in the bullpen, Mary Kay Cabot is with me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It is brought to you by Bet Rivers. Welcome into the bullpen. Put your chats in the YouTube chat. We'll get to your questions later. Mary Kay, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Bull, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm ready for some real football. I'm sick of analyzing preseason football, as I'm guessing you are, and I'm excited for real football games. 1 week from today is the NFL opener, and then, 11 days, if my math is correct? Or maybe it's 10 days. I don't know. I'm not great with math. The Browns will play their first game at home against Cincinnati. Are you excited to cover real football, or are you just in the weeds day to day with the transactions locked in on that?
No, I'm excited to cover real football. It's really time to have a game to talk about. It's time to see what some of these players are really going to look like against NFL competition with pads on when you can hit and sack the quarterback. I want to see what Joe Flacco is all about at the age of 40. Really excited to see how it's all going to come together on the field.
Mary Kay, you have covered this team as long as anybody. You've done a great job. You've been inducted into the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. And you've seen a lot. I mean, this team has been filled with drama more than any other team. Have you ever, with all of it, seen anything like the way the fans have reacted to Shedeur Sanders?
Well, I would say that the Shedeur Sanders fandom is probably more over the top than even the Johnny Manziel fans, the Baker Mayfield fans. And those years were very challenging just in terms of the circus atmosphere surrounding Johnny and Baker to a certain extent, Johnny more so. But the Shedeur Sanders fans take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because there's so much more social media now. I'm sure that plays a factor. More people have a voice, more people have a role, more people are out there on YouTube now than even just Twitter. Back then, there were a lot of Twitter fans and things like that, but now everyone can make a video about how they feel about Shedeur Sanders. They can put words into your mouth that you never said. That stuff happens to me. So it has ratcheted up times 20. And I think it might be partially a sign of the times and just the climate and the world that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily think, even pre-draft, there wasn't the pre-draft hype about Shedeur that there was about a Johnny Manziel or a Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So I do think it has a lot to do with social media.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. It is crazy over the top. People are hearing what they want to hear, whether you say it or not. I think a lot of that's going on. And honestly, I don't think, before we get to Joe Flacco, I don't think any of this benefits him. That's how I see it. I don't think any of this outside noise actually benefits Shedeur Sanders.
Well, it doesn't, and he's not responsible for most of it. Now,
sure,
the Sanders family, they do live in, in the media spotlight. It's almost like the Kardashians. They've grown up with video cameras around, and they like to have those video cameras around, and they like to live stream their lives and things like that. So, I have no problem with that. That's fun. That's the, that's the age group that they're in, and that's just the lifestyle and the culture that they have.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but Shedeur hasn't brought on most of some of the vitriol that we're seeing and hearing, and just some of the negative stuff. He's not responsible for that. He's a really, really fine young man. I like him a lot. He's got a great personality. He's gregarious. He's fun. He keeps things light in Berea. He makes guys around him laugh and enjoy practice. He's been really good for Joe Flacco. So he's not doing a lot of this stuff on his own. It's just the people out there, really, for the most part, as I mentioned before, on YouTube and other places that are bringing some extra stuff to the table here. But in terms of Shedeur, the Browns were never worried about his personality, and that has really held up.
Let's talk about the trade of Kenny Pickett. Obviously, when they first got him, I know you and a lot of other people thought he would be in the mix to be a starter, but he had the injury, and that just never happened after that because he couldn't get on the field. They did trade him for a fifth-round pick. Is that just – Does that signal that they definitely believe that Dylan Gabriel is ready to play if necessary? Because
Yes.
obviously at 40, Joe Flacco, he could go out at any time.
Yes, they have determined that they could get good value. It's not great value, but good value for Kenny Pickett, because once Joe has reached the end of his road with this team this season, whenever that might be, they now do feel comfortable handing it over to Dylan Gabriel, and they want to see what those rookies can do. So if they get a chance, they also want to get Shador on the field. We know that they've stated that publicly.
Yeah.
So yes, that is how they feel, and I do 100% think that the hamstring injury threw a monkey wrench into the plans. I think that Kenny Pickett was headed towards starting the season and being their bridge quarterback for this season until they were ready to see the rookies. And when he got the hamstring injury, it took him out of the mix. It took him out of that competition, and they just had to move forward. And when they were able to get the draft pick for him, they took it. I still probably wouldn't have done it. A fifth round pick to me isn't really enough for me to say, let me go ahead and make this trade. But they are ready. Even if Joe bows out in the second game, they feel like Dylan can handle it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I probably would, and I'm not much of a Kenny Pickett guy. I don't like him, but I don't want to start quarterbacks before they're ready to play, and I just find it hard to believe that Dylan Gabriel's ready to play right now. But we'll see if it happens. Obviously, as we head into week one, the roster may change a little bit here in the next week. But for now, the crux of the roster is set. I want to talk about some of these position battles and the way they ended up. Deontay Johnson, if I would have told people 2 years ago that he would have been cut by the Browns, who maybe have one of the worst wide receiver situations, nobody would have believed that. Did this have anything to do with his personality or some of the stuff that's gotten him in trouble? Or was this just guys outplayed him on the field?
Well, I think what happened with Deontay is that when they signed Isaiah Bond, it really kind of knocked Deontay out of the competition there. And I'm not even 100% sure he would have made it if Isaiah Bond didn't show up on the doorstep, because he was inconsistent in camp and to a certain extent in the games. And I think where Deontay went wrong is nobody's ever allowed to say this because it's a voluntary offseason program, but he did not come and participate in organized team activities. And he defended himself on that. But I just don't think that that showed to the Cleveland Browns that he was as committed as he needed to be to doing everything that he possibly could to make the most of this, what could be one of his final chances to resurrect and survive in the NFL and resurrect his career. So I don't think he made a good decision there. I do hope that he can kind of get it back together somewhere, somehow. Maybe he'll have to be out of football for a while when a season is actually going on, before he feels the pinch, before he feels the pain of not being in the game, and then is willing and ready to do whatever it takes. I think he can still play football. I thought he did some good things, but I thought that that was where he kind of went wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. When you've been cut like 3 times in the last couple of years, you got to show up for every opportunity, and he didn't do that. In terms of running back, obviously they cut everybody but Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford. I know they signed a couple of guys back to the practice squad, and they picked up somebody on waivers. But clearly Ford and Sampson, for now, before we hash out what happens with Judkins, are going to be the backfield. What do you expect in terms of, like, is it going to be a timeshare between the two? Like, is Sampson going to play as much as Ford, or is Ford clearly the one back here?
Well, I do think that Jerome can go out there and be sort of the workhorse until Quinshawn gets back. And I'm not sure how Rocket is going to factor in now that they have claimed him. So we'll have to see how that goes. But they do have what they feel is an effective 1-2 punch with Jerome Ford and with Dylan Sampson. Those guys both had nice camps. I think Jerome has something to prove because basically the Browns went out and replaced him with 2 other backs, and now he's a backup. But he's got a great attitude. He worked really, really hard in camp, and I do think he's got something to prove. So, let's see what he's got sort of on first and second down. Then you bring Dylan in, and he's very fast. He's agile. He's shifty. He's really got a nose for the end zone, and he's a home run hitter. And let's see what these guys can do until Quinshawn gets back.
And speaking of Quinshawn getting back, is there any update on that? Are the Browns waiting to see the resolution of the situation, Or is there just a contract dispute here?
Shrouded in mystery. I
Yeah.
don't know if the Quinshon Judkins holdup has anything to do with the league and the fact that they are still reviewing his case, or if this is purely a contract issue. Nobody will say anything about Quinshon Judkins. It's one of the toughest stories to get a handle on that I've had in years and years, where you can't get anybody to say anything. The only thing that I've been able to get is something out of the league where they're willing to say, we are still reviewing the case. Other than that, the Browns, I mean, they are airtight on this. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's leaking anything out about Quinshon Judkins. We're not seeing anybody say anything about what the holdup is here from his side, from the Brown side. I mean, there are guarantee issues. I mean, it's really not an amount issue because there is rookie slotting in the NFL. So we know what the amount of the contract is going to be. It's 11 point almost 4 million for his 4 years. So it's really either the guarantee that's a holdup there or what the back channel conversations are going like with the NFL.
Do you think the guaranteed money is tricky because I know it's less money, but they guaranteed money to Isaiah Bond, and he's shrouded with the same stuff as Quinshon Judkins. So if they're trying to not guarantee his whole contract after they guaranteed Schwessinger's contract, who was drafted a few picks before him, and Bond, I think they're in. That would be tough for the Browns to try to get that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe the Browns want to have some handle on what the NFL is going to do before they sign the contract. I mean, I can only imagine that must be it. I have no idea if that's what is actually going on, but maybe they don't want to give that full guarantee and then he's suspended for 5 games the way that Mike Hall was. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the charges were dropped against him. So maybe he's not even going to get a suspension at all, or maybe it's 2 games or 3 games. Yeah. I really don't know, but there probably is something having to do with the contract in conjunction with a possible suspension.
Mary Kay, for me personally, I'm most excited when it comes to the rookies. I'm most excited to see Harold Fannin Jr. Obviously, he was great in college at a lower level, with Bowling Green. He's apparently raw as a tight end prospect, but he can do a lot of things. He's made an impression clearly here. How big a factor do you think he will play in the offense, especially early in the season?
I think he'll play a very big factor in large part because they're going to play a lot of 12 personnel or 2 tight end sets. They'll actually play some 3 tight end sets in this iteration of the Kevin Stefanski offense. Yeah. Harold has looked really, really good in camp. He pretty much catches everything that comes his way. He's really almost being used as another big, tall receiver in this offense. And I think you'll see him a lot. They didn't go out and find themselves before Isaiah Bond showed up. They didn't go out and try to draft a wide receiver high or sign someone because they knew that they had Harold Fannin that could play a lot of that role. So I think you'll see a lot of Harold, and I think he'll do a nice job.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited about that. On the other side of the ball, obviously it's potential because a lot of these guys haven't done anything yet. But it seems like there's a chance this could be the best talent around Myles Garrett on the defensive line, with Mason Graham, with the potential of Mike Hall. Hopefully some of these young defensive ends that have had some opportunity the last couple of years can stay healthy. But, they haven't put much around him in his career. Do you like the talent around him better than you've seen before?
I do, except for the fact that I always feel like you need a second surefire double-digit sacker to take some kind of pressure off. But maybe Alex Wright can step up into that role and be that this year. He was out all of last year, and the year before that, he had 5 sacks. Yeah. And so if you can get him to the point where he's at 8 sacks, 9 sacks, maybe even 10 sacks, then I think that you're taking even more pressure off of Myles and giving him a little breathing room. But certainly from a defensive tackle standpoint, he has what he needs inside there to have a little help in getting to the quarterback and maybe not having all of the attention flow to him. So I definitely think that'll help him.
In the secondary, I'm really concerned. I mean, obviously they dodged a bullet and Denzel's healthy because without him, it would have been a total disaster. But I'm concerned. Obviously, Martin Emerson's out for the year. There's questions really everywhere. I mean, I know Newsom's solid and Grant Delpit at safety is solid, but I mean, how good are you feeling about that depth and the third corner and the second safety right now?
Well, certainly losing Martin Emerson Jr. for the season really hurt them. It's
Yeah.
hard to lose a starting cornerback at the beginning of the season. Fortunately for them, Greg Newsome has been asking for more playing time on the outside and really wanting it, and really, making a case for himself and rattling the cage for that. So he's got it now, and it's up to him to prove that he can handle that and be the lockdown guy on his side. The younger guys can come in and some work outside, in Mitchell and Miles Harden. They can also work in the slot, as can Greg. So we'll have to see how it goes. And then they acquired another cornerback yesterday in Jarek Bernard Converse, and he's someone that will be rotating in there and seeing what he can do in practice, at least in the beginning, and see if he can contribute. So we'll see how it goes. Fortunately for them, Denzel had an amazing camp. Yeah. He looks like he just keeps getting better and better. The years haven't impacted him yet. And as long as he can stay healthy, they certainly can lock down his side of the field.
As you said, the Browns play different sides of the field, right? They don't have Denzel just follow the best receiver. Personally, in week one, if I were the Browns, Denzel Ward, if you ask Jamar Chase who's the best corner in football, he will always answer Denzel Ward. And as you know, I watch almost every Bengals game in addition to watching almost every Browns game. And I have never seen a corner play well against Jamar Chase routinely, except for Denzel Ward. Not that he's never beat him, but Denzel has had a lot of great moments against Jamar Chase. I don't think anybody else. I don't think Greg Newsome could stay with Jamar Chase. If I'm the Browns for this game specifically, I would have Denzel Ward follow Jamar around the field. Would you do that? And do you think there's any chance they will?
I think they probably could. I would definitely do it, and I'm sure that Denzel wants to do that.
Absolutely.
It's a great matchup between those two guys.
Yep.
I mean, they will, they'll almost neutralize each other. They're both so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to see it. And I think that they would consider doing something like that. It does make a whole lot of sense. Yep. And I'm sure if they try it any other way, they'll find out that they want Denzel covering Jamar. Yeah. So we'll see. It's the highest compliment for Jamar to talk about Denzel in that way. And I think it's justified. It's such a great matchup between these two.
Do you think the Browns being justified? Are they justified in cutting Dustin Hopkins? Is that the right move?
Oh, boy. I was a little surprised about that. I wasn't sure that they would have the guts to go with a kicker who's never kicked in an NFL game before. But, he missed 2 extra points in preseason. They just don't want to have that feeling of, does he have the yips or what's going on with him? Right. Is he going to be able to go out there and win a football game for us with the game on the line? And so I kind of see the wisdom in it, but I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I hated that they signed Hopkins to an extension. I didn't think that made any sense. To me, with kicker, because he had been just an average guy, and then obviously he had 2 years ago, had an amazing season. But I for the most part, I don't trust kickers. They're not reliable from year to year unless, obviously Tucker, there's a couple of guys. But I didn't like that, and I think they made the right move, but it's not like you could have any – what is it? How do you pronounce it? Schmidt? Is that how they say it?
Yes.
Schmidt. I don't know. They're going to be nervous about him too, I'm sure, going into the season.
Well, I'm sure they will, but they probably have a short list of kickers after him that, that can help in a pinch. But I just don't think they wanted to go into every game wondering if their kicker had it mentally and physically anymore.
That's fair.
It's just they just didn't feel they could do it.
It's 100% fair. All right, Mary Kay, I'm just going to get a couple of questions from the fans, if that's okay with you, and we'll wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's start with question. Jeffrey says, question for both of you. What are your guys' game predictions for the Browns game to game? Well, we won't do game to game, but he has the Browns winning 11 or 12 games, Mary Kay. I'm guessing you're not as optimistic as he is, or are you? Any chance the Browns win 11 or 12?
I don't have them winning 11 or 12 games. I do think the defense is going to be a lot better this year. And I do think that their 1-loss record will be determined in large part by the turnover differential. Last year, they just kept giving it away and giving it away and giving it away. If they can play clean football on offense and then get some of those takeaways on defense, then I think they can get up into the 7, 8, 9 victory range. But it's going to be dependent largely on not losing that turnover battle every single week.
Yeah, listen. We all want the Browns to do well. I think they're a 5-6 win team. You never know. There's always a surprise, but there's too many question marks, right? I'm with you, especially on the front seven. I like the defense, but I think in the secondary, there's too many concerns outside of Denzel. And the offense, they just don't have enough talent on offense. They got one of the worst quarterback situations as of now. We'll see what happens. You don't have a proven running back. You don't have anything proven at wide receiver besides Judy. Obviously, I think we both like their tight end group. And the offensive line, if healthy, should be fine, but they don't have much depth, and they got a lot of older guys. So, I don't know. I'll say 6, that they just get over on the win total. But they're not winning 11, 12 games. That's not happening.
No, I'm not really seeing that. But once they get Quinshon Judkins back, I think they're going to have a running game. I do think that they're tough through both lines. And that's why they'll have a chance in a lot of games, because their offensive line is good and their defensive line is good. If you have that and you can get clean quarterback play and clean ball on the offensive side of the ball, then I think you can stay relevant into November. I do think Isaiah Bond looks really good. He looks like a good addition to this football team. So maybe he can be helpful in terms of a little bit of explosiveness, adding that much needed speed on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. And again, if these defenders can go out there and take the ball away and force some fumbles and get some interceptions, then it starts to get a little interesting.
Okay. Nathan says, hey, Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cabot, do either of you see Shedeur or Dillon playing against the Bengals? I think the answer is pretty obvious, but go ahead, Mary Kay.
I think the only way that happens is if Joe gets hurt. If Joe gets hurt, then of course Dillon has to go in there. He's one play away. Yeah. So Joe's going to have to move well, not hold the ball too long, and make sure that he's not taking too many sacks. So that's going to be key for him. He's just got to make sure he's ready to play that quick, short game and not always try to be getting the ball all the way down the field. So those are his 2 big assignments. Don't take a bunch of sacks. Don't throw interceptions. If he can stay healthy, then you keep Dillon on the sidelines over there.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, if there's injury, I guess if the game's a blowout, maybe late in the game, you could see Dillon out there, but probably not likely. Kirk says, good morning, Bull and Mary Kay. Who do you think will have a breakout season as a rookie for the Browns? Who's your breakout rookie?
Well, I think there are a number of guys that you can point to.
Sure.
First of all, Carson Schlesinger at linebacker, he's just been dynamite in practice. He's been really, really good. So he's someone that I think you can look at that, maybe he does get his hands on the football. Maybe he does get some of those interceptions when he's in coverage and whatnot. Maybe he can punch it out of there a little bit. So I definitely think that he is one to watch. Quinshon, if he comes back, this is a really good rookie class.
Yeah, I agree.
And not just the draft picks, but some of their rookie free agents are going to be good this year. Gage Larbadan is a good receiver. And if he gets his way onto the field, then I think he can make a little bit of noise too. But certainly Mason, we haven't really gotten to see what Mason is going to be capable of yet until you get him in a live game and he can really do his thing. But if he can go forward and just understand that assignment, see quarterback or see running back and get to them, then I think you'll see some cool things there from him. As you mentioned, Harold Fannin. I mean, Harold has a chance to have a really, really nice season.
Yeah.
And again, Isaiah Bond. So there are a lot of young guys on this football team. Dylan Sampson, if Dylan gets a lot of playing time, I think this is going to be a really good rookie class.
I agree with everything there. It's the first time in this regime that I've been excited about the rookie class heading into the season, because obviously a lot of these years they haven't had first-round picks. Sometimes they haven't had second-round picks. And by the time we got to the start of the season, there was not much to get excited about in terms of rookies. I agree with you. I think there's a lot of potential in this rookie class. And I love Harold Fannin, as we talked about. If I had to pick one guy, I'd go with Dylan Sampson because I just think he has the best opportunity right now because Jerome Ford is fine, but we kind of know what he is. And as you mentioned before, Dylan Sampson's a home run hitter. So if he has some like huge runs for touchdowns, like he could really be out there. And if he and there's an opportunity because there's only one proven back on the team for him to play a lot if he's playing well. So whereas David Njoku is still going to be in the mix because David Njoku is a good player. So that I'll vote for Dylan Sampson. But you're right. It could be there's 4 or 5 guys that you could vote for in this situation, and we have not been able to say that about the Browns in a long time.
Yeah, and Harold, I think you need to watch for Harold to really do some other interesting things as well. So keep an eye out for that. But I think they're going to find creative ways to use him.
Mary Kay, great stuff as always. Congratulations again on the Hall of Fame. Your line about Belichick was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That was so hilarious. Anyway, all the best and good luck this season. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me.
You got it. Mary Kay Cabot, great to chat with her. She's awesome as always, and that was a lot of fun, and we're glad we could answer your questions. I do want to talk about something here that we're going to be doing in the podcast this season. We're doing a contest called Beat the Bull. So for those of you who are out there who want to, challenge me, if you dare, there's the link right now. You see it on the screen. There is the link. I'm going to be doing a survivor pool right here in the bullpen. There's the site. There's the link. There's the QR code, right? Compete with me. You got to sign up in the next week between now and next Thursday. The season starts, of course, a week from today at night. And you'll see it. The link's in the YouTube chat right now. I think it's right at the beginning or somewhere here. It's in there. Oh, the guys will put it back in there. Hit the link and join me and compete with me in a survivor pool. Of course, it starts with the beginning of the season. And I haven't done a survivor pool in a while. So I'm excited about this. And I'm excited to compete against all of you. We'll do some trash talking. We'll have some fun with it. So make sure you click on the link. Make sure you sign up. Do it now, because if you say you're going to do it later, you'll forget, right? We got a million things going on in our lives. So, take care of it now. So that's it. Beat the bull, or hopefully in my case, I'll say you lose to the bull in the survivor pool, which gets underway 1 week from today with the start of the NFL season. Meanwhile, college football starts this Saturday. Well, it already started for some teams, obviously, at week 0. But Ohio State, Texas, this Saturday. And you folks that know me well know I'm not a huge college football fan, but I'm very excited about this game. I can't wait. You got a game. They got Boise State in South Florida tonight on ESPN. But Ohio State and Texas, noon start in Columbus. It's going to be in the mid-60s. Like, this is what you want, man. I'm excited about this game. You see, Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite. 47.5 is the over/under. This should be a great game. I mean, Ohio State, usually get 2.5, 3 points at home. Ohio State favored by 2.5. These teams are pretty much even. So I think the game could go either way. I'm leaning towards Ohio State. And I'm not obviously a diehard Buckeyes fan like a lot of you, so I'm not biased here, but I just think when you have two really good teams, I'm going to lean towards the home team. Both quarterbacks inexperienced, obviously. But I'm excited. It should be a lot of fun. 2 days from now. 2 days, 2 hours, and 30 minutes. We kick the season off for the Buckeyes against Texas. That's how it should be. These great games early in the season. That's really cool. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. It was great talking with Mary Kay. Got really deep into the team. Next week, we start getting ready. We'll get you ready for the first game against the Bengals. On Tuesday, Dustin will be with me. On Thursday, Zach Jackson will be with me next week. And after the game next Sunday, I'm going to be live, as I was last year, following every Browns game. I will come on soon after and be with you live to recap the game. Good, bad, or ugly, whatever. Could be good, bad, and ugly at times. So after every Browns game, join me live here in the bullpen. But I'll be on UCSS today and tomorrow. I'll be on Betting Weekly Hardball today and tomorrow as well. I agree, Nathan. Mary Kay was great today. Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. And thanks all of you in the chat. Thanks to Kyle and Max. I'll talk to you all next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. Thanks.